when I joined the CIA and had the opportunity, I was able to get into the Special Operations Division. And I went through 6 months of intensive paramilitary training. And shortly thereafter, I was assigned to the operation in Laos. There was a war going on, but it was basically a guerrilla war. And in 1962, the Geneva Accords had been signed, and that required all foreign troops to leave Laos. The U.S. complied. They took out 500 officers and enlisted men who'd been in working with the hill tribes in Laos. The problem was that the North Vietnamese did not pull their personnel out, their military personnel out. And so whoever made the policy decided to continue the U.S. presence there, but in the form of just 2 paramilitary officers. We weren't in the country legally. We didn't go through Vientiane and hand a passport over. We were flown in black, as it was called. The whole idea at that time was to harass and slow down the Vietnamese eventual march towards the west from Vietnam. We did a lot. We blew up boats on the river, supply boats to the North Vietnamese. We ambushed the North Vietnamese truck convoys, some not traditional methods because we didn't always have the weapons, and I ended up at one point dropping large rocks out of the bottom of an aircraft onto a truck convoy because they were right out of the open and they thought nothing could stop them, but we had harassed them that way. The Pathet Lao were indigenous Laos, and they were a communist force that had been formed some years before, and they were basically trained for the most part by the North Vietnamese. And just as we were supplying advisors to the Mao or the Hmong tribe, the North Vietnamese were supplying units to train the Pathet Lao throughout that region. The Pathet Lao were mainly just villager type people that they turned into sometimes soldiers. But I would say that I would much rather have been captured by the North Vietnamese than the Pathet Lao, because I think the difference would be being captured by a Washington, D.C. neighborhood gang than from a organized terrorist organization, if that makes any sense. But they would have been disciplined because the organized folks would try to get you, or they would try to make use of your propaganda value, whereas the thugs are just going to, they're going to beat the hell out of you, and that would be it. There were Air America pilots who were shot down, and we know that they were treated very, very badly. They never came out alive.